Let me guess, you're interested in private money lending, but the idea of lending money to someone else feels too risky, right? I hear this all the time. What if they don't pay me back? What if I lose everything? But here's the reality. Private money lending can be safer than you think, right? When you know how to secure your investment properly, in today's video, I'm going to break down how you can protect your money and minimize risk so you can lend with the confidence and still enjoy the high returns that private money lending offers. All right, let's get started. I get it. No one wants to lose money, especially when it's something personal as lending, right? The fear of someone defaulting on a loan is probably the biggest reason people shy away from private money lending. But here's the good news. When you structure the deal right, the risk is actually very manageable. In fact, many seasoned private lenders hardly ever lose money because they've learned how to secure their investment with collateral, legal protections, and smart due diligence. These are the tools that are available to anyone. Let me tell you about someone I worked with. He was hesitant to get involved in private lending because he perceived it too high of a risk. After he sat down and we discussed all the security measures, he decided to give it a shot. Now, after several successful deals, he's a big believer in private lending. He told me recently that he wished he started a lot sooner than he did. He's made more in the past 3 years than he did in 10 years of the stock market investing. I would like to go and break this down and to explain this in steps to make it simpler. So in step one, we're going to go into how to leverage collateral. The first and most important way to protect your money in private lending is to secure it with collateral. This is what makes private lending in real estate fundamentally different and safer, especially when you look at other investments. Your loan is secured by a tangible asset, the property itself. This means that if your borrower can't pay you back, you have the legal right to take ownership of the property. You're not just lending on a promise, you're lending against a real valuable asset. For example, let's say you lend $100,000 on a property that's worth $150,000. If the borrower defaults, you can take the property and sell it and recover your $100,000 that you would put into it, or even more, depending on the market. So unlikely other investments where you would lose, you could gain. You can have something to fall back on if things don't go as planned. In fact, many private lenders see this as a win-win. Either they get paid back their interest, with interest, or they end up with a piece of real estate that's worth more than what they lent it for. That's why private lending can be a less riskier than people think, considering the security that it brings by that additional real estate and that value that it has. So step two, using a promissory note and a mortgage or deed of trust. Okay, with this way to protect yourself is through legal documentation. You need two documents, a promissory note, and either a mortgage or a deed of trust, depending on the state you're lending in. The promissory note is essential. It's pretty much essential of the borrower's promise to pay you back. It outlines the terms of the loan, how much they're going to borrow from you, the interest rate, the payment schedule, and what happens if they fail to make the payments. This document gives you the legal standing. If things go wrong, then there's a mortgage or a deed of trust, which puts a lien on the property. This is what secures your loan with the real estate. If the borrower defaults, the lien gives you the right to take ownership of the property through a foreclosure process. Without these legal documents, you have little recourse if the borrower doesn't pay. But with them, you have the power to protect your investment. So here's another quick story. I once had a lender who was nervous about loaning, $200K on a property. But after we drew up a solid promissory note and secured a first lien position on the property, they felt much more comfortable. Sure enough, the deal went smoothly and they was repaid in full with interest. But even something had gone wrong, they knew investment would legally be protected. And I think that's the key. Everything that we do as far as investments comes with a risk, but your objective is try to figure out how do you mitigate those risks. And those are some of the ways to mitigate some of those risks. Step 3, we're going to conduct your due diligence. Now, I can't stress this enough. Due diligence is crucial in private lending. It's in everything, I always say. Before you lend a single dollar, you need to do your homework on both the borrower and the property. So let's break this down a little bit further. So first, you need to vet the borrower. How experienced are they? Have they successfully completed similar projects in the past? What's their credit score? You want to make sure you're linked to someone who has a good track record of financial stability to pay you back. Seeing those numbers give you an understanding what they have going on. Now, I would caution you there too. Their credit score may not be what you want to look at. You want to look at what their credit is. If there are any bad things on their credit, those are the key things that you want to look for. Because with an investor, sometimes their credit scores can go up and down based off deals that they've worked. And because they have so much debt due to so much property, sometimes their score may be low. But if you look at their actual credit report and break it down with them, that'll be the true teller for you. It's also helpful to ask for references or check out their past deals. A quick background check can save you from a lot of headaches. Second, you need to evaluate the property. What's the current market value? What's the potential after the renovations or improvements? Is the property in a location that is likely to appreciate or hold its value? This part is critical because property is your collateral. So if something goes wrong, you need to be sure the property is worth enough to cover the loan. And let's not forget about the local real estate market. What are the market trends in that area where the property is located? Are the property value rising or falling? Is there demand for housing or commercial space in that location? Understanding these market dynamics will help you make the smarter choice, more informed lending decisions. I had one client who skipped due diligence on a property because they were eager to close the deal quickly. Long story short, the borrower ran into some financial trouble and my client was left trying to recover the loan by foreclosing on a property that wasn't worth as much as they thought. Had they taken the time to research the property value and market conditions, they could avoid that loss. Now, a good borrower will also provide that data. So for me and my lenders, we provide all that information. It's a part of the packet that we present to them. It's going to give our information, the market current and expected future. So that's another key thing is how prepared are they when they speak to you? If they have all this data ready for you, then that should give you another warm and fuzzy that things are going to work out. Step 4, consider the title insurance. Another way to add an extra layer of protection is to use title insurance. This ensures that the property title is clean and that there are no hidden liens or claims against it. If you're lending a significant amount of money, title insurance is a small investment that can save you from big headaches down the road. It ensures that there's any legal issues with the ownership of the property, you're covered. I can't say that how important that is. We've seen, I guess that's too long ago, where they built a house on someone else's land. And this was a developer. And they had to go to court to figure that out, which that should have been caught in the title. But with the title insurance, that would help cover that issue. So any financial issue that came out, the title insurance would help cover. All right, so step 5, understand the importance of first lien position. Whenever possible, aim to be in the first lien position. This means that if the borrower defaults and the property goes into a foreclosure, you're the first to get paid. Being in the second or third position is riskier because other lenders are ahead of you in line. If the property isn't worth enough to cover all the loans, you might not get paid back in full. That's why being in first lien position is crucial for minimizing your risk. Let's go over another example. I know a private lender who loaned $500K on a commercial property. The borrower was experienced and the property was in a prime location, so things, looked good. But just to be safe, they had title insurance, they had the promissory note, and a deed of trust, in place. And then securing the first lien position. Okay, halfway through the project, the borrower ran into unexpected costs and couldn't make the payments. But because the lender had taken all the proper precautions, they foreclosed on the property, sold it for $600,000, and made a profit. This is how private lending can still be profitable, even when things go wrong. So private lending isn't, as risky as it may seem if you know how to secure your investment. By leveraging the collateral, using legal documentation, conducting your due diligence, and taking advantage of tools like title insurance, you can protect your money and earn those high returns without losing sleep. Think about stock. What is your collateral? You putting $100K up or $200K or $5,000. That's gone, what do? That's it. That money's gone. There's no getting it back. With this, you can still salvage some of your investment, if not even recoup even more sometimes. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned for my next video where I'll explain how real estate can be a safe and reliable way to build long-term wealth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next time.